So it was interesting too when they said to come and speak about dare to dream. I am a bit of a dreamer, or I've got a very big imagination. So it's one of the two. And I was thinking about what can you say about dreaming? And because there's just so much, people can have a great experience. People have had bad experience. It's just all in like one big pot, I call it. And I've been in that pot in both either side of the coin. But I felt two things, and then we're actually going to do some things today. Aren't we excited now? I just saw the fear drop. I just saw it go, I don't do nothing. I'm sitting here, which is great. And so I looked up, and there's amazing people in the Bible, and obviously you can't go through them all, but I just love it. If you've ever read the Bible, and I encourage you to do it, just Google the word dream in the Bible and see what comes up. It's not just about us being up here teaching, but you do it and just find out what God speaks to you in all different ways about dreams, and it's amazing. And I love it. I love the dreamers. And, I was just looking, there's Jacob, there's Joseph, there's Daniel. And I even found this one, and I'm being honest, I haven't read it, but there was an in prison, butler, and baker in the Bible who dreamed. There you go. Like, you wouldn't think that. Well, I wouldn't think that. So it's very interesting. So even in the Bible, where there are several references to dreams, it's not always clear. Sometimes people were called to see dreams, but in some special cases, dreams were a way for God to speak directly to the person. And the way the dreamer responds demonstrates the importance of staying true to God's word. And I just wanted to, I found that, and I thought that's so important. And some of you might have already, every now and then, I probably call them like my God dreams. And for me, sometimes I find those little pockets when obviously I'm asleep and dreaming, and I feel that God will drop something in that you just can't describe, that you know that it's God. And I don't know whether you've ever experienced that, and some people probably have and some people haven't. But there's been times in my life where I've just gone, yeah, that has to be. Or, all right, what's happening? What are you trying to say? What are you trying to do? And they've just been at that absolute exact moment where you need to know, oh, I'm going to step on this and I just need something. And I don't know, again, I think there's many of us that have been like that. And for me, a lot of that time is where I keep actually a book near my bed. And it was actually a pastor said to me, you should always keep a book near your bed. And I'm like, oh, yeah, righto. And I go, that's good for you, mate. That's lovely. God probably speaks to you with dreams. And I don't know whether I'm one of them people. And so he's up there going, no, keep it. And so I jokingly, probably not in a whole lot of seriousness, went, all right, God, here's my book and pen, and I'm in bed, going to sleep. Oh, nothing, okay. And it went on for about a couple of weeks. This is years ago, a couple of weeks. And I thought, oh, that doesn't work. And then one night I had a very vivid dream of a situation I was in. And I went, oh, that's the answer to that. And it was so left field, I couldn't even, and I wrote it down. I've still got it at home. I couldn't find it. And, but it was in this book. And I thought, oh, hang on a minute. God does talk to people in dreams. Now, does that happen to me every night? And I've got a direct line? And no, but it can happen. So I want to encourage you over this next month or so, just do something. That might be you, that might not be you, and that's fine. But just ask God to speak to you. And he will. He'll show you things that you'll go, oh, hang on, that's that, and get ready to what he'll do. It was funny last week. Meg goes, oh, if you want your dream, come and get it. Not me. I just wandered around. Meg comes up and goes, oh, here's your dream. And I'm like, oh, okay. Righto. From last year. And again, very interesting. So I went home and put it away somewhere, just put it on the counter. And this week I thought, oh, I probably should read that. I was obedient, so I did read it. And so I went home and thought, and it was interesting because for me last year, and a lot already know this, but probably in March last year, I wasn't really in the enthusiastic of dreaming either. And I thought, yeah, having a bit of a rough time. I'd just been diagnosed with ovarian cancer in the late February. And I just thought, oh, yeah, righto. I'm not doing this Dare to Dream. I'll just miss it this year. And, having a bit of a whinge to myself and going through all that. And I remember, having that, not knowing what the outcome would be, just devastated our family. Had to step out of Soul. And if you know me, I am the nightmare at Soul that's always here. And, to sit there and basically lose everything and then go, okay, guys, we're all daring a dream. Get ready. We're pumped. Yay. And I'm sitting there going, oh, I'm not real pumped at the moment, but okay, I'll fill out the form. And okay. And Rick's like, aren't you excited? You should fill out the form. And I'm like, you should fill out the form. Just like to say, I did fill out the form and he didn't. So just when he comes back next week, just ask him. And it was interesting. So this was my dream and I wrote it. I'm just switching over pages. And I wrote it at a devastating time in my life. And sometimes it's not always when you're up here that you write your dream. It's sometimes when you're down here that you go, I'm going to write something. And I think when you make that decision to step out of where you are and go, you know what, my life's crap at the moment, or I've got this massive situation, I can't even think that, just do something. Somewhere you've got to go, you know what am I going to do? Is the chemo going to work? I've been hit by a bus. I can't go to Soul, blah, 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 blah. Hang on a minute. I've got a choice. And often we don't do the choice. And sometimes we've got to go, you know what, I'm in this situation, but they're asking me to dream. And somewhere we've got to go, you know what, I've got to make a move and go, okay. And it can be hard and it can be scary and it can be nervous and it can be the what ifs come to mind all the time. And I just went, you know what, if I'm going to write something, I've got to do it. And sometimes God says that to you and we go, oh, no, what about? No. If God says, this is what I think, then do it. Let me encourage you to do it and see what happens. And so my dream is to follow God with everything I've got. To see salvations, healings, miracles in our family, friends, and in our city. And then I wrote, and I 100% want a new home for Soul that changes lives every day for him. And you know what? We've got him. So if you say, oh, it won't happen, well, there's one person that it's happened to. It will happen. And it wasn't my plan to have a cancer journey and go through it and keep going. And was it hard? And does it get tough? And then do you get frustrated? Yes, because it's part of the dream. If dreams were easy, everyone would be doing incredible things. But it's good to wrestle and it's good to go. People go to me, oh, how would you just wrestle? God, I don't know. He'll come through. Always comes through. And that was it for me. That was like, you know what? And then I remember walking in the door the first time ever, and I think it was just me and Rick, and I just went, this is the dream, Dale. This is it. And watch what God will do here. Watch what God will do here. It's been phenomenal. And there's a dream. And it's every day. Jesus walked every day. And I see people. I've seen people come to the Lord. I've seen people get healed. I've seen miracles that I just go, how could that happen? And sometimes they're not a great big thing, and sometimes they're just a little thing. I've got a guest here at the moment, and he won't talk to me. He just won't talk to me. He's one of my favourites, and I love him to death. And he's grumpy, and he's got something going on, and he won't talk to me. And I remember he was here on, I think it was Thursday, and he growled at me, and I thought, okay. And I went, oh, God, you've got to do something. You just got to do something. And our son, Jack, and he'll hate me probably talking about him, but I am because I've got the microphone. He goes, oh, guess what, Mum? I saw the guest on the bus on the way home and I had a chat to him. You know, you don't know what God can do. You just don't. Was that my plan that, oh, okay, at 2:35, Jack's going to get on the bus and he's going to be on the bus and it's all going to come together and I don't know. But when you go, that's how God operates. Whatever it is in your world, that's how he comes through. My other thing I just want to share, and then I'm going to actually wrap up pretty quick, is about a dream too that happened to me. And most of us know our Nick Dylan Smith. He's one of our guys who's was in a motorbike jump and then fell and has been, we nearly lost him. And it's nearly been a year. And I've worked very closely with Mum and Dad, and Nick's down in Sydney in rehab. And I remember one night it got really close, and I've asked to share this, so I don't obviously do anything that I'm not allowed to, especially around this. And he's a 30-year-old boy, and wouldn't wake up in the hospital, and constantly up in intensive care with him. And I'd go up with me bald head and had chemo and eaten hash browns and begging him to wake up with hash browns. And the nurse thought, what a horrible woman. But I thought he likes hash browns, and I tried everything. And I just remember going up there, and it came to a really crucial time where, you know, what you have to make some hard medical decisions, and it gutted us. And I was there, I'm gutted and shattered, and I'm not even the mum and dad. So I can't even contemplate what you would do in that situation. And I remember going home and I said to God, you just got to, I don't know, what do you say? What do you do? Do you just be there? You know, and going to bed. And I remember being asleep and just no pictures, no nothing, but just having this thought. And I know it was the Holy Spirit talking. And it was just like the greatest miracle you can have, and that Nick has, is that he knows me. And that was it. And then I woke up. I remember writing it down, and I remember talking to Andrew and saying, you know, whatever happens, I said, the greatest deal you can do is to know him. So my deal is this: if you want to dream and you want to dare to dream, then with everything in me, I want you to put God in it. And the way you put God in it is you accept God into your life. If God's not in your world, you're in trouble. And I'm pretty similar to Sean, actually. I became a Christian when I was 7 years old. And I was at a Lewis Plough crusade over in the showgrounds at Newcastle. And I'm 21 and a bit too. And people go, oh, you know, you're 7. You know, you're a kid. It doesn't matter. And I can remember sitting at the stadium. I can take you to the exact chair where I was, up in the grandstand. And you had to walk around that dirt track, and you had to walk across because he was in the middle. And it started to rain. And I remember saying to my mum, I want God in my life. And she's lovely. And she says, you're 7 and you go to Sunday school. And I said, no. I want God in my life. And she went, okay, well, you've got to go down the front and walk across and go down the front where they're telling you to go. And I went, right. I said, okay. And I can remember doing it. I can remember walking across. I remember going out the front, and I remember standing there as this little 7-year-old, you know, okay, what's going to happen? And I remember Lewis Plough, and if you know him, he's passed now, but he's a world-renowned evangelist. And I remember him coming down off the stage and leading me to the Lord. And I had the privilege of years ago, obviously, if you're around back in the day, we had a big city fest that took over the Foreshore Park. It was a big massive big crusade for about 2 days, and he was a speaker, and I got the privilege to thank him for leading me to the Lord. And it's amazing what God can do. I would never have dreamed that in a million years. But I remember when he prayed and led me to the Lord. And you know what, today, that's what I felt for in here. And so I just really believe, and I'm going to bring the team up. They're coming early because I felt this song, and I've had it going in my head for about. I'm not joining the music team at all. I'm just letting you know. But I felt really strongly about this song, and it's called The Same God. I hope I've got the title right. And it's about coming to him. And so today we're going to do two things in the last 10 minutes that we're here, or 15 minutes. These guys are going to sing, because church is about you and about what God wants to do for you and with you. And if you don't know him, I want to encourage you that you can know him today. And it will be one of the greatest days of your life. And I know these are the thoughts that go through your head right now. I've written them down because I've done this. Oh, what will people think if I go down the front, and that'll be awkward, and no, I don't do that. You know what people will think? I'll tell you what they'll think. I'm happy to help you at Ready. They will cheer you on, because it will be the best thing that you will do. And you know what? Oh, I've done this before, didn't work. I don't like church. Similar, even like with Sean was saying, I wrestled church. I wasn't happy. Oh, I've had a bad experience in church. But you know what? That can change, but it takes a step to change. Oh, I don't know anything about this. This is just weird, and, I'm happy to come and sit and it's all right, and I don't really want to. You know what? I didn't know what I was doing. I don't think anyone in this room probably knew what they were doing when they came to the Lord. It's probably like, I'm just gonna go. And then we've all grown, and we've all done things, and we've all learnt, and we've all come together. And that's what it's about. So don't worry if you don't know anything else, but you might just go, you know what, in here, I'm feeling like my heart's palpitating, and I just want to go out there and find out. And that's okay. Then that's when you come. And people will be around you, and people will help. The other thing before we finish, so if that's you, these guys are going to sing, and I just want you to come out. Just come out here, we'll pray, we'll put your arms around it, or you might go, you know what, I just want to know more, or I just have been away and I just come to church and I just go through the motions, but I want to know. Then pop out, or bring someone next to you. They'll bring you out, and that's great.